Here's the result for the guy you filled out the survey for. He gets a C+. plus. This guy is rather so-so. Not too good, not too bad. Welcome to the Strong Brew, where you get answers to questions you're not supposed to ask. These are some things you may want to know about the man in your life. If you do really well in your career, will he become insecure? Will he try and use money to control you? Will he share housework or just make you do it all? In fights, when he gets angry, does he get aggressive? During intimacy, does he understand that no means no? Is he jealous, suspicious, or possessive? Will his attitude towards you change after having kids? Will he treat your parents with respect? What if you have conflicts with his parents? We tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. These are things nobody else will tell you. Things that are important for your future. This is a safe space for truth. No judgment, no platitudes, no login, no payment either. Our questions are from real life, but our answers come from science. Now, I built this thing, me and my husband, and honestly, we built it and we live it. We are both Stanford grads, we both have worked at Google, and we've been happily together since 1998. Along the way, we've added a son, now 13, and 4 dogs. We are genuine folks. If you're a woman trying to understand any man in your life, here is how it works. Go to www.thestrongbrew.life. Click on the Understand a Guy button there. Answer 10 questions about him. Watch a video tailored to your guy. That's all there is to it. It is completely anonymous, no login, no payment, no games, no manipulation. This analysis is obtained by combining solid trait psychology with cutting edge AI ML. We represent each person's personality with what is known as a feature vector. This has 10 elements, so our data is effectively 10-dimensional data. In case you're wondering how we can infer so much from just 10 questions, well, 10-dimensional data is very complex. There is a lot you can learn from that level of detail.
Okay, I think that does it for the preamble. Now let's plunge in. Let's start with this guy in his career. Will he go far or just talk big?
He's not the type to talk big about his career or make grand promises. He usually lets his actions do the talking. He is hardworking and gets things done, but his path is slow and steady rather than climbing fast or aiming high. Don't expect flashy wins or leaps in his career. He is more likely to keep doing what he's always done.
Can he bounce back from failure?
He is tough and steady when things go wrong at work. He doesn't lose his cool or fall apart easily. He doesn't complain much or show a lot of emotion, so you might not even notice if he's stressed. So, if you're looking for someone who stands strong when life is tough, he won't disappoint you.
What do people at work think of him? Do they like him?
People at work might see him as quiet, distant, or hard to get close to, rather than someone who is warm or friendly. He doesn't go out of his way to please others or make friends, so he might not be very popular. If you want a partner who is well liked and a social butterfly, he may not fit that picture.
If you do really well in your career, will he become insecure?
He is unlikely to feel threatened or insecure if you do well in your career. He doesn't compare himself much to others, and big ambitions aren't really his concern. Don't expect a lot of celebration or deep conversations about your achievements. He's more practical and reserved.
What if you start earning more than him?
If you earn more than him, he's not likely to feel jealous or secretly resentful. Money and status aren't very important to him, and he doesn't measure his worth by what others have or achieve. So, you can succeed without worrying that he'll feel smaller or act out.
Next, let's talk about how he is with money. Does he overspend? Is he reckless with money?
He isn't the most careful with money, but he's not wild with spending either. He tends to focus more on getting through each day than planning for the future, so you might notice a few missed bills or forgotten savings. He doesn't usually make big, risky purchases, but small, careless expenses can add up.
Does he show off and pretend to be richer than he is?
He usually lives within his means and doesn't try to show off or pretend he's richer than he is. He doesn't care much about fancy things or impressing others with money, so you won't see him buying things he can't afford just to look good. If you want stability and honesty in everyday life, he can give you that.
Is he too generous, too stingy, or just right?
He isn't naturally open handed or especially generous, but he's not mean either. He tends to keep things to himself, both money and feelings, because he's used to focusing on his own needs and getting through each day. He's practical rather than warm, so if you value gentle gestures and giving, you may notice something missing.
Will he use money to try and control you?
He is not very open or talkative about money, but he isn't secretive or controlling either. He simply sees money as something practical and doesn't think much about discussing it unless there's a problem. He tends to go along with what works for the household without trying to control every rupee.
Let's see how this guy is with sharing housework. Will he share housework or just make you do it?
He's likely to see housework as something both people should help with, though he may not step up without being asked. He's practical and used to handling daily duties, so he won't say it's only your responsibility just because you're a woman. However, he might miss messes or put off tasks, needing reminders now and then.
Will he help you or just boss you around and tell you what to do?
He will quietly do his share of chores and even help with things like diapers if needed, though he won't take charge or set up routines on his own. He isn't one for giving orders or simply supervising. You'll find him more willing to just get on with the job, especially when asked. If you're clear about what you need, he'll pitch in. He simply responds better to direct requests than hints or expectations.
Now let's see about how this guy is during fights. In fights, does he try to understand your views or just win the fight?
He is not one to argue just to prove his point, but he might not always try hard to understand your side either. Most of the time, he'll stay quiet and listen more than talk without pushing his opinion too much. He won't start fights or get stubborn, but sometimes you might feel like he's not really connecting with your emotions.
Does he become aggressive when angry?
When he gets angry, he usually stays calm and doesn't say hurtful things or act aggressive. He's not the type to raise his voice, throw things, or insult you. Instead, he may become quiet, withdraw, or just get on with his own work until he cools down.
Does he have a bad temper?
No, he's not the kind of man who gets angry very quickly. He keeps his emotions in check and doesn't easily lose his temper, even when things go wrong. If he's upset, he prefers to stay quiet or work it out quietly rather than making a scene.
Will he say sorry and accept his mistakes?
He doesn't usually blame others when something goes wrong, but he also might not be quick to say sorry or talk about feelings. If you point out a mistake, he's likely to quietly fix it without making excuses or starting arguments. But don't expect a heartfelt apology or long discussion. He doesn't shift blame, he just keeps things simple and moves forward.
Next, let's talk about intimacy and physical chemistry. During intimacy, does he respect your boundaries? Does he get that no means no?
Yes, he is likely to respect your boundaries and understands that no means no. He isn't pushy or the type to insist on his own way. So, if you're clear and firm about what you want or don't want, he'll listen and back off. Your comfort matters to him and he pays attention when you speak up.
If you are not in the mood for intimacy, will he react badly?
No, he's not the kind of man who takes it personally if you're not in the mood for intimacy. He's practical and doesn't read too much into these situations. So he won't sulk, guilt trip you, or act upset. Instead, he'll accept your answer quietly and not make a big deal out of it.
Can you trust him not to shame you or share your private moments, maybe love letters, photos, or videos, even after a breakup or a bad fight?
Yes, you can trust him to keep private moments private and not use them to hurt or embarrass you later. He's not the type to gossip, tease, or bring up your personal moments to make you feel small. His nature is simple and straightforward. He doesn't hold on to things to use against you.
Is he loyal or is he likely to want to have affairs?
He is generally faithful and not easily distracted by other women. His focus is on routine and comfort, not on chasing excitement or looking for attention elsewhere. If you value loyalty and steadiness, he brings that to the table.
Will he be jealous, suspicious, and try to control you?
No, he is not over possessive and doesn't act jealous, controlling, or suspicious. He generally trusts you and doesn't spend time worrying about where you are or who you're with. He's not interested in controlling your choices or checking up on you all the time.
This guy says he is protective in a good way. Is he actually just being possessive?
No, with him, a protective nature is not a cover for being controlling. He doesn't have the urge to watch over you or decide things on your behalf. He believes everyone should handle their own business and isn't interested in micromanaging your choices.
Now, onto the topic of kids and how this guy will be as a father. If you guys have kids, will he make you do most of the work?
He sees parenting as something both of you should do, not just your job alone. He won't insist that all the responsibility falls on you, and he's willing to pitch in when asked. With clear communication, he'll do his share, but don't expect him to organize everything on his own.
Kids are very messy. Will he lose his temper with them?
He will stay calm when the kids mess up or get upset. He doesn't lose his temper easily or shout at them when things go wrong. The children won't have to worry about angry outbursts or harsh words from him.
If you guys have kids, will he still support your career?
Yes, he will support your role as both a mother and your own person. He doesn't have strict old fashioned ideas about what you should or shouldn't do. You can count on him to let you be yourself, balancing family and personal goals as you wish.
Will this man say one thing early on, maybe while dating, and then later after kids and marriage change his tune and try to make you give up your career?
No, he's not the kind of man who will suddenly expect you to quit your career after you have a child. He isn't controlling about your choices and doesn't hold hidden expectations about what you should do. If you're working and happy with your job, he'll accept it as just another part of your life together.
Next, let's see how this guy treats your parents. Will he be respectful with your parents?
He is more likely to be polite to your parents rather than show real warmth. He'll greet them, respect their presence, and do what's expected during family visits. But building close, loving bonds isn't his natural style. It's not that he dislikes them, he just doesn't open up easily or go beyond basic manners. He is more likely to quietly adjust to your family rather than expect them to change for him.
What if your family creates stress or interferes a bit in your lives?
If your family creates stress or interferes, he will handle it calmly and won't make things worse. He isn't quick to anger or drama, so you won't have to worry about loud arguments or bad feelings growing bigger because of him. He'll likely stay quiet, step back, or help you manage the situation in a practical way.
Then let's analyze the role this guy's family will play in your life. Is this man modern with you, but a completely different person when other people, say his parents or bosses, are around?
Yes, he is likely to be modern and practical with you in private, but may expect you to act like a traditional supportive wife in front of his relatives, mainly to keep family peace and avoid any fuss. He isn't one to demand old fashioned rules at home, but when it comes to family gatherings or special occasions, he may quietly hope you'll follow what's expected, like dressing a certain way, speaking with respect, or joining in customs. This isn't about controlling you, but about fitting in and avoiding drama.
If there is tension between you and his parents, will he support you?
If there's tension between you and his relatives, he is likely to stay out of it rather than actively support you or take sides. He prefers to avoid conflict and keep things peaceful, often by not getting deeply involved. His style is to let matters settle down on their own rather than step in and defend strongly.
Say you have a conflict with his mother. What will this guy do?
He is not likely to be a full mummy's boy, but he also won't easily take a bold stand against his mother if there's a conflict. He values peace at home and tends to avoid drama, so if there's tension between you and his mother, he will usually stay quiet or try to keep things calm rather than firmly choose sides. He won't let his mother treat you badly on purpose, but you might have to be clear and direct if you want his support.
Will he share all the private details of your relationship with his mother or sister?
He is not the kind of man who shares every detail of your fights or private life with his mother or sister. He doesn't usually talk much about personal matters, preferring to keep things simple and within the home. This means your relationship can feel secure and private without outside interference or gossip.
Now let's zoom out and put it all together.
Based on all of this analysis, this guy gets a C plus. This guy is so so, not too good, not too bad, a bit mediocre. Being in a relationship with this man means you'll have a steady, predictable routine and few surprises. He quietly handles his responsibilities without much fuss, but you may sometimes wish for more warmth, conversation, or emotional connection.